Well, we're back.
We're back.
Yeah, I'm rare coin expert Walt Durham.
Industry veteran Ben Parker.
And we are the coin guys from Texas. And today, Ben, we're going to get straight to the point.
Yes.
We're going to talk about the most profitable Morgan silver dollars over the past 30 years. Because that's what everybody wants is profit, right?
Yeah.
So Morgan silver dollars, I've obviously been a staple in the coin collecting community for, I don't know, 50 years plus. And just being as honest as possible, you know, most of, or the lion's share of Morgan silver dollars when it comes to performance, as far as price increases, or, you know, they don't do exceptionally well. But there are 4 Morgan silver dollars that have proven over the last 30, 35 years to be the most profitable. And those are the ones we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
So if you're new to coin collecting, or if you're an advanced coin collector, you're going to know about Morgan silver dollars. Probably one of the most widely collected vintage silver coins on the planet. So they were first introduced in 1878. George T. Morgan was the designer. That's why they're called the Morgan silver dollar. From 1878 to 1904, then they stopped. And they made a PD and S mint in 1921, and then the transition into the 1921 peace dollar. And then from 21 to 35, you have peace dollars. So the Morgan silver dollar just has that Wild West feel that collectors love.
Yeah.
Kind of like the cowboy hat.
Kinda
Everybody loves your cowboy hat there.
Yeah.
Man. But they're widely collected. But when it comes to performance, you know, they're not a dime a dozen. I mean, that's a,
Yeah.
you know, not a dime a dozen, but Morgan silver dollars, unless they're in exceedingly high condition, are not just rare.
And Morgans are really interesting because there are some that are arguably very common. There's really common ones out there, especially if you're relatively new. You're going to learn fairly quick that 1921, they produced a lot that year, comparatively speaking to the prior years. You're going to see way more 1921s at a show available fairly cheap compared to the rest of these. One of the comments I do get a lot of the times when we talk about Morgan silver dollars to clients that are building collections is it's these 4. When you get down to these 4, there's kind of a sticker shock, I'll say, because they can go from an average condition for a couple $100 to way more than that. And
Yeah. So, and look, there's a lot of videos on YouTube that are the most valuable Morgan silver dollars, right? And that's not what we're talking. We're not talking about the most valuable. We're going to leave out the 1895P. We're leaving out the 93S because those, we actually have databases where we track price increases since 1990. And we use what it used to be called Amos Publishing, which is Coin World, basically, to track the actual values of these coins over, 30, 35 years. We don't just specifically do Morgans. We do a bunch of Morgans. I mean, a bunch of coins. But interestingly enough, there we go. Walt's going to talk today. Interestingly enough, if you look at some of the best performing coins over the last 30 years, there's only a handful of Morgans that actually have done well that are in this category. And most of them are just lackluster when it comes to price increases. So the 93S, the 95P, which is a proof, are some of the most valuable coins out there, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to introduce the most profitable Morgans that are out there, and I think the sticker shock's going to go away because
once you learn more,
I can give you some advice on how to get that sticker shock to go away because they're not going to be $100, but they're affordable. And most of these Morgans are affordable, but they have the strongest price increases over the last 30, 35 years. So the first one on the list, it is no surprise that I'm just going to spoiler alert, every Morgan on this list is a Carson City. And that's not like, we're not doing an episode on Carson City Morgans. This is what the data shows.
Yeah.
Out of all the Morgan silver dollars, these are the most profitable.
Right.
The first one is the 1878 Morgan silver dollar. Okay, 78 significant. Why?
First year
of issue, CC's, Carson City, a lot of collector demand. 2.2 million coins minted. A little over 2.2 million coins. The estimated survivors in all grades is 303,125. Now that's the survival rates put together by PCGS, by the experts of PCGS. If you add up all the NGC, PCGS, CACG populations, I'm sure you would get above 303,000. But again, we've talked about this on multiple episodes about resubmissions.
Yes.
303,000 is the estimated amount of survivors out there. So we're not talking about an incredibly rare coin. But, and that's why, so PCGS also does this thing, what's called a rarity factor on a scale from 0 to 10. 10 being like an extremely, like an 1804 dollar, where there was 15 of them made.
Right.
Kind of, you know, that's a 10. This is 1.7 on the Richter scale. 1.7 on the rarity factor scale. But here's what's interesting. The 1878 Carson City, it is a Carson City coin, so it is popular. But in MS60 or MS60s, so the way we track coins is basically VF, XF, AU.
Yeah, without getting too specific, we
Right.
try to leave it in a general area.
So over the last 35 years, you're looking at a coin that has increased in value in MS60 or better, like 577%. That's a phenomenal gain. Again, most of the Morgans, they're not doing this. This, of all the Morgans that we're going to talk about today, the 1878 Carson City is by far, in a way, the most affordable. Depending on what grade you pick up, you can pick up a brilliant uncirculated example for less than $2,000.
Yeah.
So I don't want the YouTube people coming at me, the drunk keyboard warriors coming at me saying, well, you can get a 61 for this. Listen, I'm saying, like, just, you know, if you go get a 66, yeah, it's going to cost you more than $2,000. But for the most part, you can get a brilliant uncirculated example for less than $2,000. And over the last 30 years, the BU examples for this particular coin have increased by 577%. But it's a phenomenal return for a collectible coin. And especially Morgan, because I'm telling you, most Morgans, you know, are like in the 150 to 250% range. 78 Carson City, if you're looking to collect Morgan silver dollars, I like this coin because it hits multiple demands. Carson City, obviously, Wild West, 1878, first year of issue, big with collectors. So if you can only buy one Morgan silver dollar and your budget's pretty low, the 1878 Carson City is probably your best bet.
Yeah.
And maybe, you know, $1,000 isn't in your price range.
Yeah.
XFs have done pretty well too in this year. And it's a good looking coin. You can see the details. So this is one of those coins that fits pretty much every collector's budget. I'd kind of shy away on this date from a like VF or F.
Yeah, and that's the thing is right now we're focusing strictly on profitability, 30 to 35 years. We're zooming in on mint state 60 at 577%. When you start to sacrifice the grade for a lower cost going in, you're going to miss out on some of the percentage increase over time. That's to be expected. And when you start looking at other grades, there might be other coins that come into question that might be better. But specifically for this, I love that. You know, you can get basically a BU graded coin for no problem for 2,500 or less without question.
Yeah, less. Yeah, for sure. Like, and if you say towards the 60, 61 grade, you know, you're way less than $2,000, just depending on the market. So that right there is my budget pick. But like, we did not put this Morgan in here because it's a budget pick. It is because out of all the Morgan silver dollars ever created over the last 30, 35 years, this is one of the top performers. So that we didn't just throw this one in there because, hey, it's a budget pick. It happens to be affordable. So that's what I hate. I watch a bunch of coin shows and they're like the most valuable Morgan silver dollars. Well, 1% of the collectors out there can afford the most valuable.
Yeah.
We know this from a day-to-day basis. And if you are one of those 1%, then you can take this 78 Carson City, go buy the highest grade possible, and then you really have something special. That's how you add rarity to a more common coin. The second coin that is on the list, again, no surprise, the 79 Carson City. Now, this is where it gets interesting. If you look, the 78 Carson City had a mintage of over 2 million coins. The 79 Carson City has a mintage of 756,000, if I'm remembering correctly. Yes. But what's important to realize here, the estimated survival rate is about 21,000 coins. That sounds like a lot to some people. To some people, it's not a lot. And I'm just here to tell you that there are, what the U.S. Mint say, there's 100 million coin collectors in the United States.
Yeah.
Even taking 10% of that and saying, oh, well, those are Morgan silver dollar collectors, you still have way, way more demand than you have supply, right? That coin on the rarity scale, again, not a super rare coin just in general. In all grades, it's about 2.7 on the rarity scale. So again, a coin that's not super rare, but the price increase is very interesting to me. An MS60 or better, a BU, you're looking at 513% increase over the last 35 years. That, again, most Morgans are not coming close to that. So if you're looking for the most profitable Morgans, the 79cc, time and time, and look, this is not a sales pitch. There's no skew to this. This is just the numbers. This is what the numbers that are reported by people like Coin World, Numis Media, this is what the numbers say. This is what the numbers are saying. So, but this is where it gets interesting. Okay, so if you were looking for a 79cc in MS60 or better, what you need to know is that coin's going to cost you over 10 grand.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a $10,000 plus coin. But I will tell you that in XF grade, this is a sub $5,000 coin. So XF40, XF45, this is a sub $5,000 coin, makes it more affordable.
Tell them the best part.
The best part is the XF coins, and I think because they've been more affordable, have performed better over the last 35 years than even the brilliant uncirculated.
Yeah.
So XF examples by our research has gone up 829% since 1990. 829% in XF. Now, there's ways you can make your XF coin more special. XF, Old Rattler Holder,
OGH,
CAC, stuff like that. But again, generally, and that's going to play with your value too. Like a nice XF example, a decent one is going to cost less than $5,000. So if you're looking for a profitable Morgan silver dollar and you don't want to collect if you want to collect some Morgans and you don't want to collect because there's a lot of them.
Oh yeah.
You don't want to collect every single Morgan silver dollar ever made. These are the types of coins you want to go to. A 79cc and XF, again, 829% price increase since 1990, less than $5,000. There's a lot of people that I think make mistakes when they're collecting, and they collect every single coin. They're going out and they're buying, these 10 common coins for $200.
Yeah.
And instead, they'd be better off buying one 79cc in XF putting a little money to that $2,000 that they put on these common coins and saying, hey, I've got something special.
Yeah.
So the 79cc, again, is a great coin, one of the best performers in XF. It is one of the most profitable Morgan silver dollars in the last 35 years. So if you're looking for Morgans, again, all of these are Carson City.
Yeah.
We didn't plan it. It's just how it happened. The numbers don't lie.
Exactly.
So the third one on the list is the 93cc. 93cc is special because why?
The Panic of 1893.
And it's also the very last
That's right.
Carson City ever made. The 1893 Carson City, again, very small mintage, 677,000. That's the original mintage. Estimated survivors, around 48,000.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's pretty low. That's in all grades. It gives it a rarity factor of about 2.5. So not as rare technically in all grades as the 79cc, but again, a special coin in BU, MS60 or better, price increasing 620% over the last 35 years. Again, strong returns for a Morgan silver dollar. Very strong returns for a Morgan silver dollar. Again, this is another thing that's going to cost you $10,000 plus in BU.
Yeah.
See, what's funny about the 93cc is, you mentioned the Panic of 1893. And a lot of people, this is the best part about coins, is the history that ties in with the coin. Not only do you have the history that ties with the coin, but the history affects the value of the coin because of mintages and so on and so forth. I really like the 1893 Carson City. Again, it's got multiple demands.
Yeah.
Last year issue, Carson City. It's a legitimately scarce coin. Pricing trends, 620% is nothing to be, better than a sharp stick in the eye.
Yeah.
That's what I always say. But again, this is where it's going to, shy away some people, is that it's a $10,000 plus coin in MS60.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Again,
It's like a trend that is happening right now.
People always ask me why I like coins, and coins are just common sense. XF examples, again, are less than $5,000. And I'm being pretty broad on this because every coin has its own price. But you can pick up an XF example for less than $5,000. And when I say less than $5,000, that could mean $3,000. That could mean $4,500.
There's a wide range, especially when it comes to Morgans. People select their coins greatly off of the flashiness of the coin, how bright it is. Some people like toning. Some people completely avoid toning. You have the holder that you have to take into account. There's so many different artistic perspectives that you can take when picking up any coin. And the Morgan is at the brunt of a lot of that.
And this is another year where the XF coin has actually performed better over the last 30 to 35 years than the Brilliant Uncirculated example. And I believe that's because it's more affordable.
Yeah.
That's a common trend. Again, let's take a look at what we know. It's a last year issue. It's a Carson City. It's affordable.
There's a lot of history tied into this period.
Yeah, you got the Panic of 1893, which really shrunk the silver dollar production of that year. You got a low mintage coin, 677,000. And so it's, and you look at the Morgan silver dollars, are the most collected vintage U.S. coin on the planet. And so you have more demand, a more affordable, and that kind of leads to why the pricing has done so well in the last 30 years. 770%
In an XF.
in an XF grade. And again, that's a sub $5,000 coin. Affordable. No, it's not the $100 coins, but it's affordable. Like if you really, even if you're a low budget collector, you could save your money up and buy these four Morgans and have the best Morgans out there. Interestingly enough, we had a guy come in today And he comes in once a week and he buys like 8 silver rounds, and he's accumulated just over the last year about 140 ounces of silver.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people out there are like, I could never do 140 ounces of silver. Well, this guy did 140 ounces of silver, little by little.
Just chipping away at it.
Just chipping away at it. And you can do the same thing with these Morgans. You know, save your money up, stretch. Instead of having quantity of coins, have some quality. Have quality. That's an approach I would recommend for any low to moderate budget collector. Hey, I don't have all the money in the world, but you know, if I saved up for a year, I could buy a 93cc.
Yeah.
You're better off doing that than buying an 82, 83, 84cc.
Yeah, another option too is there's no reason why, if you're already saving the money and you don't want to miss out on part of the market, there's no reason why you can't stack some silver and build up that savings, and hopefully it works with you for the market. You know, especially if you did it this year, you'd be a lot closer to your goal of getting any of these Morgans, you know, and then just trade it. It still, you know, has that value. Put you a lot closer to getting your goals.
Right. So if you would have somehow accumulated 100 ounces of silver in 2024, you'd roughly have about $2,000, you know, $2,200, $2,500, you know, roughly $2,000 invested in silver. And you trade that in today's market, you've got over $4,000.
Yeah.
And that's how you can afford some of these coins. These coins are stable. That's another thing. They are the most profitable, but they're stable. That's how you can stretch to get some of these better dates. And I would highly recommend, if I could give any advice to any coin collector out there, it is quality always trumps quantity. Quality, quality, quality.
Yeah.
When it comes to collectible coins, now silver rounds, it's obviously quantity.
Yeah.
But when it comes to collectible, you know, you're selling to a collector's market. When you go to sell these back, quality. Good. And what I mean by quality, XF is a good quality for a 93cc.
Right.
It's a quality coin, and it's a low mintage coin, low survival rate coin. It's a quality coin. It's not your run of them. It's not a, you know, 81S Morgan. It's a Carson City. It's a last year issue Carson City, and the numbers don't lie. It's proven to be one of the best, most profitable in the last 30, 35 years. So the last coin on the list is by far and away from somebody who is, this is my 18th year. I will celebrate my 18th birthday in the business next month.
Your coin anniversary?
My coin anniversary. October 15th, 2007 is when I became a full-time coin dealer. This coin that's coming up, if I had one recommendation to anybody who's looking at Morgan silver dollars, you're going to buy one Morgan silver dollar, it's this coin. I really like this coin. It's the 92cc Morgan silver dollar. And if you look at the numbers, you're going to be like, man, that's kind of, you know, it's not as appealing as the 93cc or the 78cc. But if you're looking strictly at the most profitable, the 92cc has a lot of room. And I'll tell you why. Mintage 1.3 million. You can see the 93cc, because of the panic of 1893, the mintage just fell down.
Right.
Survival estimates about 135,000 coins. That puts it at about a 1.9 on the rarity scales in all grades, according to PCGS. In MS60 or better, this coin's done 625% since 1990. And in XF40, here's that trend again.
Yeah.
727%. The 92cc is it's an affordable coin. Same thing. You're going to get some rarity. You know, you can go 10,000 plus in MS, and you're going to go sub 5,000 in XF. But here's what's interesting. A little bit before your time in the coin market, but in 2010, there was a rare coin bull market. And these coins, and I say these coins, the 92cc has come down since then. And that's not to say that the coin was overvalued in 2010, but the numbers don't lie. They have come down a little bit. They're a little bit more affordable now than they were in the last rare coin boom. And we're not in a rare coin bull market. When you're talking about rare coins, 83Os, 1907 high release, Carson City Morgan silver dollars, we're in a precious metals bull market. And what always lags behind is the
Rare coins.
Rare coins. It's a slinky effect. You've seen that with vintage U.S. gold type. There's just so much money being traded with gold and silver. And hell, you've even had a great run in platinum this year. 30, 40%.
Yeah, over 1,400 on the spot price. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're at 40% on platinum. I mean, platinum doesn't get talked about. So you have all these metals that are just roaring ahead. And even collectors have kind of shifted their focus to precious metals. This is the opportunity where smart collectors come in and they know that these things are undervalued. The 92cc out of every coin on this list is probably the most undervalued right now in this market.
Especially when you take into account what you said is that the prices have come down since then. So I'm curious to go take a look and see what it was at its peak. Because one thing you're going to learn about coins the longer that you're in them is that everything is cyclical. Everything works in cycles. Once that slinky catches up, there's obviously these numbers are going to look a lot different. But I think we're heading that direction.
And look, it's the old adage of buy low, sell high. Right now, 2025, 2026, the 92cc is it. And when I say it dipped from its high, it's not just this massive plummet.
Crater, yeah.
It's just a slight dip where you can buy the same coin a little more affordably.
Right.
Again, XF examples are affordable to almost every collector out there. This is the type of stuff that we want to start talking about is the real ins and outs. Like everybody can put out videos of what's a Morgan silver dollar and the history of the Morgan silver dollar, and that's fine and dandy. But we want to take our years of experience, the millions upon millions of dollars of coins that we buy every year, and tell you why we buy them. And this is the type of stuff that we look at. And I am telling you that my pick as far as Morgan silver dollars goes is going to be the 92cc. You can't go wrong. If you're a really low budget collector, go to the 78cc. But if you can stretch just a little bit on a low budget and go to a 92cc, I promise you, you won't regret it as far as Morgan silver dollar. Even if it's the only Morgan silver dollar or the only coin you're able to buy. I'm talking about low budget collectors. And if you're a whale, if you're one of those big ones, you can really steal some value in some 92cc's higher grades.
Right.
And this is one of those coins, there's no shortage of Morgan silver dollars out there. Obviously, with the GSA release and, the U.S. Mint was sitting on, just bags of Morgan's silver dollars that were never used. So that's why most Morgan silver dollars, they're collectible, but they just don't, they don't perform, leaps and bounds like other coins do. It's the poor man's collectible, is what some people would say. But you can really take this, go to these Carson cities, and I'll say it again in case you missed it at the beginning of the show. We didn't plan on just making Carson cities, these are the most profitable. This is the numbers.
Yeah.
I mean, you've seen the data. Like this is just the numbers. I can take 100 coin. We have about 100 coins of the best perform. Everything from seated Liberty dimes to 1 cent pieces to $20 gold pieces to $10 pieces. You take all 100 coins of the most profitable coins over the last 30 years, and there's 4 Morgan silver dollars on it. That's what we're telling you. These 4 Morgan silver dollars are the most profitable. Don't care what anybody says. The numbers don't lie. This is not a sales pitch. This is facts.
Yeah.
And that's what you get with the Coin Guys from Texas.
There you go.
So hopefully this was informative for you guys, straight to the point. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully, I mean, I'm curious to, you know, whatever you've got to say, Jordan will feed it to us and we'll talk about it. But again, we didn't want to do another episode of what everybody else does of
a release, something coming out,
yeah,
things that are happening.
Or, hey, these are the most valuable Morgan Silver dollars out there. Oh, can I give a PSA?
A PSA?
A PSA, a public service announcement. And if you're watching this, then you're not one of them. But for the love of everything, these coin apps and the YouTube channels that talk about the error pennies and quarters and state quarters, they're getting paid on viewership.
Yeah.
Find somebody who wants a 1990 close AM penny and then call me. Man, you know, there's an argument out there that it's good for coin collecting. There's an argument that it's bad for coin collecting because you have all these people searching through their change. You're just not going to hit a lottery ticket in your change. I just don't think.
You could, but you're not.
You could, but you're not.
Yeah.
So if you actually want to do something, listen to, like, you're going to have to spend it. How many hours would you have to look through change to find a rare quarter, dime, nickel, penny?
It'd be a full-time job looking.
Right. You would have been much better off just buying silver rounds and then trading those silver rounds for 92 cc's.
There you go.
Well, that's all we got for today. I hope you join us next week or next time we put out an episode. Hope this was more informative for you guys, and I hope you learned a little something. Till next time, guys.